Say, kids, what time is it? Well, howdy doody, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy there, Mr. Doody. And boys and girls at home and all you kids in the peanut gallery, come on, let's go. It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. Come in and howdy do. Say howdy do to you. Let's give a rowdy kid. What's howdy doody here? Got time to start the show. So kids, let's go. Oh, yes, sir, boys and girls. Well, you know, kids, I was just thinking before, it's always fun to look up in the sky and see different things flying around, you know? Any of you kids ever, while you're playing, see things flying around and you happen to look up in the sky and see what they are? What might some things be? How about this little fella? Sonny, what's your name? Trajan. All right, now, Trajan, what are some things, Trajan, that you might see flying up in the air? What might you see flying in the air? What do you think? Well, how about any of you other kids? Ever see? What do you see flying around, baby? An airplane. That's right, an airplane. And well, look, Clarabelle's got an airplane. Well, sure. Now, what's something else you might see flying around that has wings and feathers? Bird. Sure, bird. And there's a little birdie. Why, sure, Clarabelle. Wings on birds and wings on airplanes. And what else flies around, Clarabelle? What? A saucer. Oh, you mean a flying saucer. Oh, well, of course. Clarabelle, did you ever see one? You haven't. Well, maybe somebody has. Say, look, kids. The inspector has a question for you.
Yeah, thanks, Buffalo Bob. But it isn't the question I have. I've got the answer, not the question. The question is why. Boy, most kids ask that question a dozen times every week. So I'm going to give the answer. Now, kids, I want to tell you something. Sometimes your folks want you to go to the dentist and you say, oh, why do I have to go to the dentist? Well, here's why. Because if you go to the dentist today, even when it seems like, well, there's nothing wrong with your teeth, you go today because if you don't go today, you may have to go 7 times next week. I'll explain it to you. Now, you see, if you have a little something wrong with your tooth today and if you don't do anything about it, it gets worse, and it gets bigger, and the pain gets worse and everything. And then when it really, really starts to hurt, well, gee, then you've got to go to the dentist a dozen times maybe to get it fixed. But if you go now when it's small, he can fix it up in one day, easily and pleasantly, and it'll be fun. So you save yourself 11 trips to the dentist. Pretty smart thinking, isn't it? Well, there are a lot of things you folks out there ask, your folks ask you to do to make you wonder why. Why? Yeah, why? Well, back to the Howdy Doody circus.
Don't go away. Now, don't forget, don't go away, because I got to have you here a little later. Yeah, and you know, Buffalo Bob, last night, boy, oh boy, Clarabelle did want to go away. You remember, we decided to bring another clown to our circus, a clown named Sprinkle. And we're bringing Sprinkle here to act as sort of a policeman to watch Clarabelle. Now, Clarabelle, boy, oh boy, you got to be a better clown, Clarabelle. You know, kids, at first, Clarabelle didn't believe that we were really getting Sprinkle the clown for our circus. So Clarabelle called Sprinkle on the telephone himself. And, oh boy, Clarabelle found out that there really is a clown, and the clown's name is, you know what, Clarabelle? It's named Sprinkle. Yes, that's right, Howdy Doody. And boys and girls, did you see what happened to Clarabelle last night when Sprinkle talked to him on the telephone?
Yeah.
What happened to him, Sonny?
He got squirted.
He really got squirted with a telephone. Yes, sir. Now, Clarabelle, do you believe us? Now, get up here, Clarabelle, because I got to talk to you. Do you believe now that there really is a clown named Sprinkle? And do you know that Sprinkle is coming here? Yes, sir, around the end of the week, maybe. And now, look, Clarabelle, we want to give Sprinkle lots of nice room here, see? Want to give him a nice place for all his belongings. And As a matter of fact, when he comes here, you know, he's going to stay for good. Going to stay here for a nice long time. How long do you think he's going to stay here? Have any idea, Clarabelle? What's that? What? What, 12 o'clock going around to 1 o'clock? Oh, you mean he's going to stay here for an hour? Oh, much longer than an hour, Clarabelle. Much longer than an hour. 2 hours? Oh, much longer than 2 hours, Clarabelle. Sprinkle's going to stay 3 hours longer, Clarabelle. Sprinkle's going to stay here a long time. What do you mean, sleep? Oh, overnight? Going to stay here much longer than overnight, Clarabelle. Much, much longer. What, Clarabelle? What are you doing? Calendar. Oh, you mean 1 day? Oh, longer than a day, Clarabelle. You mean a whole week? Oh, he's going to be here longer than a week, Clarabelle. A whole month? Longer than a month, Clarabelle. Believe. What's the matter, Clarabelle? He's going to be here a long time. What's that? What's that, a Y? A Y and an ear. Y, ear. Weird. Oh, year. Oh, year. Oh, maybe even longer than a year. Sure, now look, let's get this straight. Sprinkle. Clarabelle, listen. Sprinkle is going to be here until you learn to behave, until you stop doing all those tricks. You don't like the idea of Sprinkle being here, do you, Clarabelle? Well, now look, let's have this understood right now. I want you to be nice to Sprinkle, and I want you to treat him like a brother. As a matter of fact, when he gets here, I want you to make his bed every day. What else, Howdy, do we want Clarabelle all to do for Sprinkle? Oh, gosh, he's got to do a lot of stuff, Buffalo Bob. Now, listen, Clarabelle. I want you to make Sprinkle's bed, clean his laundry, dust his room, and cook his food. Do you understand, Clarabelle? Will you do all of these things? All right, now, look, Clarabelle. We'll argue about this some other time, but those are the things that you got to start doing when Sprinkle gets here. Now, Clarabelle, don't be such a silly clown. Now, Sprinkle is another clown. He's going to be here next week, and he's going to be a policeman to you. But before that, now, look, right now, I want you to start getting his room ready for him right now. I want you to put some nice furniture in it. And I know that he likes to read, so get a lot of real good books for him. Books. Clarabelle, get books. Clarabelle, get Sprinkle some books. Now, hurry up about it. Oh, gosh, Clarabelle. Boy, I don't like to bring another clown here, but gosh, Clarabelle just forces me to.
Another clown?
Oh, hiya, Flub. Yeah, that's what we're getting.
Another clown?
Yep, Clarabelle's been misbehaving so badly that we're getting another
Clown?
Yeah, that's right. You see, the new clown is going to watch Clarabelle all day, so Clarabelle won't be able to play any
Tricks?
Yeah, the new clown is going to be here next
Week?
Yeah, and his name is
Sprinkle.
Well, right, Flub, but I wish you wouldn't interrupt me, please. I wish you'd let me finish just one
Sentence?
Yes, please, Flub.
A dub.
Thank
You're...
Welcome.
Oh, Howdy.
Yeah.
Howdy. I wrote a song about Sprinkle.
Oh, well, good, Flub. Can we hear...
Hear it? Sure. Here goes. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, Sprinkle, Sprinkle, little clown, you'll turn Clarabelle upside down. Clarabelle won't be so brave when Sprinkle comes and makes him behave. Sprinkle will get here when he's ready. Meantime, I'll eat some meatballs and spaghetti.
Oh, that's wonderful reading, Flub. That's the most unusual poem I have ever...
Heard?
Yeah, Flub, but I hope Clarabelle behaves. Gosh, I don't want to see him and Sprinkle getting into any
Trouble?
Oh, now there's enough fighting going on in the world.
Already.
We don't need any more.
More.
Gee, Flub, I wish you'd let me finish what I'm saying.
Saying?
Don't you see it's very important to... Don't you know that you shouldn't annoy me? It's awful annoying to keep being...
Interrupted?
Don't you see that it gets on my...
Nerves?
Yes.
Yes.
Flubadub, I think you better...
Say goodbye?
Yeah, say
Okay,
goodbye, please.
goodbye.
So long, Flub.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, Flubadub. Goodbye. We got enough trouble here without you being so... Say, look what the inspector has there, kids.
Why, look at that. It's a big sign, kid. Yes, sir, it's a big sign, and it says, where? And I'll tell you what it means. Now, sometimes you and I wake up in the morning feeling pretty blue. No special reason. You just wake up feeling mad or, well, mad at the world. And that's not too good. I worried about it for years, and then I found the answer. I just closed my eyes, and I imagined a special place where everybody's happy all the time. You know what it's called? It's called Tweedledee Town. And whenever I felt bad, that's where I went. That's where Tweedledee Town, and I sang the Tweedledee song. And it goes like this. Oh, Tweedledee-dum-dum, 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 Tweedledee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, Tweedledee-dee-dee-dee-dee, Tweedledee-dum-dum. When friends get together, they don't mind the weather. A wintry night turns into spring as soon as they begin to sing. Hey, Tweedledee-dum-dum, 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 Tweedledee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, Tweedledee-dum-dum. Yes, sir, kids, that was the song. And you know, when I opened my eyes, kids, you know where I was? Right here. Only all of a sudden, everybody was happy again, including me. So, if this happens to you, you know where to travel to. Just close your eyes a minute and Tweedledee your way right back to feeling happy. And now, back to the Howdy Doody Circus.
And now, Clarabelle, you were supposed to take this away, you know, when I was over there. But what I want you to do now, Clarabelle, is to show me a movie, will you please? And those books, I'll have to show those books to Sprinkle a little bit later, all right? You show me a movie now. And meantime, I'm going to sit over here with my kids in the peanut gallery. That's no way, Clarabelle. Come on now, get that thing running right today, please. Get that scope doodle going. Oh, no slip-ups on the scope doodle.
Look over there.
Little twinkle light. Howdy's twinkle light is twinkling.
I can't see.
All right, that's fine. And here we have our old-time movie, kids. That's a boy, Clarabelle. I knew you'd get it fixed. Oh, what a clown. Oh. Well. Television is wonderful, kids. Now, here we have a little thing here called the 3 Tons of Fun. You know the boys? You know big Clinton bullets, don't you? Well, now, Clint does a trick here. He says, will somebody in the audience kindly throw an apple in my face? Now, Clint has a trick where he puts a fork in his mouth, and they're supposed to throw an apple at him, and the apple hits the fork, and he actually catches it, you see? So a man in the audience here doesn't like the Tons of Fun very much, so he went out and sent for a whole crate of vegetables, and he says, now, fellas, throw when I do, and all the vegetables are coming, boom, boom, at the 3 Tons of Fun, who are really, incidentally, very, very bad entertainers. They haven't got a very good act here this time. Usually they're pretty good, but they didn't entertain so well. So now, look. This man decides that they're really going to have to war against the Tons of Fun. So he says, you'll throw it, won't you, please? So he gets it right on the noggin. Did you see that? Now the Tons of Fun are mad. Vic and Clinton Bullets are very, very angry. And they decide that they're going to war against all the people in the restaurant, even though all the people in the restaurant have more ammunition than they do. So look, they're stalking. And the people in the audience are backing up. And the Tons of Fun are ready to give it to them. And they're getting closer and closer. They're getting a little bit afraid. And now they're sort of got their backs to the wall. And they say, we have only one chance to beat the 3 Tons of Fun, and that is to charge at them with all the fruits and vegetables. Bullets takes off his coat, rolls up his sleeves, and just as he did, he got a honeydew melon right in the face. So there's the rest of the audience throwing all the vegetables at him. Did you see that, kids? Ah, yes, sir. Well, you know, boys and girls, before, I wanted you to do a little something, and Where's that Clara? Well, what's he doing there? Two for one. Atta boy. Look at that, kids. Ovaltine. And what does it spell, kids? Ovaltine. Yes, sir, you're right. And you know, boys and girls, Clarabelle is telling us all, yes, sir, kids, that it's Ovaltine time on the Howdy Doody show. And, well, what's that? Well, the alarm clock is going off here. There. What's the matter, Clara? Oh, kids, you know what? Clarabelle, are you showing everybody how the alarm clock makes you feel when you wake up in the morning? Yes, sir. But then, don't you feel better after you eat your breakfast? Ah, sure, you feel all chipper. But then, how do you feel long about the middle of the morning, Clarabelle? Not so good, little dragged out, huh? Well, then, Clarabelle, what you should have is Ovaltine. Ah, yes, sir, Ovaltine. That's what you kids should have in the middle of the morning, and there it is. That's right, Clarabelle. Always drink your hot cup of Ovaltine. Hot chocolate-flavored Ovaltine with your breakfast. You know why, Clarabelle? Well, I'll clue you. First of all, you see, breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day because your first meal has to supply your body with enough food to keep you going until 12 o'clock noon. That's right, Clarabelle, and if you don't get enough of the right kinds of food for breakfast, then you might not do so good in school. You know, that report card wasn't very good last month. And then you might be all tuckered out before noon. So now, kids, you remember, if you want lots and lots of zip and power, oh, boy, you want to start every single day right with a good, big breakfast. And then you drink that cup of hot Ovaltine right along with it. You see, kids, Ovaltine is a special food drink that makes a good breakfast even better. And, boy, it's really a delicious way to get the kind of foods that you most need for pep and strength and energy. So, kids, you ask your mother to give you a cup of hot chocolate-flavored Ovaltine with your breakfast tomorrow morning. Oh, you betcha, kids. And now let's all sing our song. Here we go. Ovaltine's good for you. Ovaltine tastes good, too. It won't go. The drink I need. It won't go for Ovaltine. Ovaltine. Attaboy, Clarabelle. Well, now, kids, I would like to see those books here that Clarabelle bought. Clarabelle, do you have those books, please? Now, these are the books that you have got for our good friend Sprinkle. Is that right? Well, I certainly hope that these are good books. Now, let me see. What is this first book? I hope this is a good book. What is this one here? Oh, now, there's a good book. This is called Inside USA by John Gunther. Very, very good. And what's this book here? Well, this book is Inside Asia by John Gunther. Very, very good. And what's this book? Inside John Gunther by Dr. Sing-A-Song. Well, that's very, very good. And what's this book here? Oh, this is an educational book, How to Be Gorgeous While Eating Spaghetti by Wadsworth Makepeace Scalesworthy. Well, that's very, very nice. And let me see what this book is here. Oh, isn't that nice? A Tale of Two Eggs by Charles Chickens. Oh, isn't that nice? You'll like that book. And this is My Future in Mexico by Vincent and Pelletieri. Wonderful books. Oh, fine. And what is this big book here, Clarabelle? What is this book supposed to be? What is it? The St. Louis Post-Dispatch. What's that? The Boston Globe. The Detroit News. The Washington Post. The Call Chronicle of Allentown. What's this for, Clarabelle? What? Want me to read more? The Oakland Tribune. The Newark Star-Ledger. The Erie Dispatch. The Los Angeles Times. What's all this for, Clarabelle? St. Petersburg Times. The New Brunswick Times. The Indianapolis Times. The Milwaukee Journal. What are these for, Clara? The Deseret News in Salt Lake City. The Council Bluffs Non-Corral. What is this? The Lancaster, Pennsylvania Sunday News. Reading Eagle Times. Pensacola News Journal. The Baltimore Sun. Garden City Newsday. Clarabelle, what are all these newspapers for? What? Oh, the Howdy Doody comic strip. Oh, yes, sir. In all those papers, kids, you're going to see the Howdy Doody comic strip this week. And the first adventure of the floating island. You kids be sure and get it, will you? Yeah. Now, let me see what else. What other books do we have here? Oh, here's a pocket. Oh, I know, a pocket book. Oh, I see. Well, that's very, very nice, Clarabelle. Very, very nice. And what's this? Oh, say, I like this one. Kids, look. A Story of Macbeth by Shakespeare. Now, that is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, kids, you know, this story of Macbeth by Shakespeare, it's one of Shakespeare's finest comedies. And this story, kids, has one of the most exciting scenes in it you've ever heard. Would you like me to tell it to you? Would you really? All right, well, now, kids, this is really a very exciting book. Now, Clarabelle, you can listen too, but you got to be very, very quiet while I tell the story, all right? Now, first, kids, before I tell you the story, I want you to look at this picture. Now, you see this picture, kids. Actually, what does it look like? Looks like sort of a tree, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, a tree or a bush. Well, now, actually, they're not. Now, here's the story. Now, you see here, kids, in the story of Macbeth, years ago, in Scotland, there was a king, and his name was Duncan. But a man named Macbeth, he wanted to be king. So Macbeth, he got rid of Duncan, and he became king. But then, poor Duncan, he had a son named Malcolm. And Malcolm should have been the next king. But when Malcolm found out that his father had been killed by Macbeth, then Malcolm, he got together an army, and he went to fight Macbeth. Well, now, look at this again, kids. Now, you see this? Malcolm and his army came from a small forest called Burnham Wood. And when Malcolm and his army started to move against Macbeth, Malcolm did a very smart thing. Malcolm had all of his soldiers chop off branches from the trees in the Burnham Wood. And then the soldiers held the branches in front of them. And they looked like trees. You see, kids, they all got branches, and they hid behind them. And then they looked just like trees. And Malcolm's whole army looked like 1,000 trees. And when Macbeth looked out, he looked out toward the battlefield, he saw nothing but lots of trees. He thought, of course, that they were trees. But they were really soldiers. And when Macbeth saw all these trees, he was really stumped. And before Macbeth saw the trick, it was too late. Malcolm's army defeated Macbeth, and that was the end of Macbeth. Now, how do you like that idea, kids? Wasn't that a pretty good idea?
Yeah.
See, all of Malcolm's men had these big branches in front of them like this. And instead of looking like soldiers, they looked like trees. But nobody knew it, and they fooled everybody. See, how do you like that, kids? Actually, you can, well, if you cover yourself completely with something in front of you, you can sort of hide behind a big thing like a tree. And nobody will ever know you're there. Now, how do you like that, kids? Pretty interesting story, wasn't it? Just, of course, I want to remind you that it only took me a few minutes to tell the story, but it took Shakespeare a lot of pages to tell the story. You understand that, don't you? Oh, well, don't be modest, Buffalo Bob. After all, there's no sense in dragging out a comedy. But, you know, boy, that's a wonderful story. And I'm sure Sprinkle the Clown is going to like that book and all the other books that we have for him, too. Yeah, and you know, talking about Sprinkle, Howdy, that reminds me. Kids, when Sprinkle comes here, now, what do you think is the first thing that Clarabelle's going to try to do to Sprinkle? What do you think he's going to do? What do you think, little girl?
Squirt the seltzer bottle at him.
Say, he probably will. He'll probably want to squirt him with seltzer, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get seltzer bottle right now, Clarabelle's, and I'm going to hide it. Now, don't tell Clarabelle. I know as soon as Sprinkle gets here, he'll try to get this seltzer. You know what he'll try to do. So there is Clarabelle's seltzer bottle. Yes, sir, boy, oh boy, how many times Clarabelle has showered my pan with this thing. Of course, there's one thing, you know, I was born near Niagara Falls, so I guess Clarabelle didn't want me to get homesick. But I'm going to take this bottle here, and I'm going to hide it. Now, look, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide this bottle right here. Now, don't tell. Trajan, you watch it, won't you? Honey, you watch Trajan. Little fella, you watch her.
I'm gonna watch it.
You watch this little fella. And don't tell anybody. And if you tell them not to tell anybody, okay? All right, fine. Now we're all set. We got the seltzer bottle all hidden. Boy, but you know, honest, I think that was the most wonderful story there about Macbeth. About all those soldiers hiding behind those trees. Boy, what a wonderful idea. See, you could walk around and people would think you're a tree. A lot of branches, so they never even know you're a soldier. They think you're a tree. And then, when you walk with a tree in front of you, actually you become a walking tree. Now, just think, Shakespeare told that story 350 years ago. And nobody has ever done anything like it since. Boy, I think it's fantastic the way that all happened. Because, you know, the way those soldiers were walking in front of that tree. And everybody, of course, thought that they were supposed to be the tree. But they were really soldiers. And I think there's Gerard, and the tree. And what do you think? But, kid, it's a giant seltzer bottle. It must be from another planet. It's so big. Well, what is it? What, this is impossible. A seltzer bottle can't walk. A seltzer bottle can't walk any more than a tree can walk. I can't understand. I wonder how about this bottle. Well, I wonder what's in that bottle. I wonder what it's supposed to do. Well, I wonder what it's supposed to do. Oh, you clown, Clara! You trick! Give me my bottle, kid! Give me my bottle! Clarabelle! 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 What a trick that was. Clarabelle thinks he's William Shakespeare. Clarabelle thinks he's something special. Oh, yes, but Buffalo Bob, listen to this. Because I'm really going to have something special to offer for you kids next Friday. Something really wonderful. So you'll be looking for it again next Friday. Yes, sir, kids, next Friday again when it's Ovaltine time. Attaboy, Howdy Doody. Well, I wonder how Clarabelle ever got this gadget. Boy, that's the biggest seltzer bottle, but I didn't think the water would come out of here. I thought the water would come out of the nozzle. You see, this is actually the nozzle, kids, right here. And I thought if any water did come out of the seltzer bottle, certainly it'd come out of the nozzle, but Hey, I'm stuck. My finger. Hey! Howdy, Clarabelle! Clarabelle! Pull my finger out of here, Clarabelle, will you please? No, not that way! Not that way, Clarabelle! Not that way! No, not that way, Clarabelle!
NBC Television.